Hi, and welcome to Everyday English with Amanda. Today, we're continuing the same series talking about simple present tense. So if you'd like to know more, you can go back and watch the first two series, and today we are going to focus on forming negative sentences in simple present. Same thing when we formed questions. As we talked about earlier, we did use do and does to form the questions. To make it negative, we will use do and does, and we will add not. Do and does are the helping verbs. That's what we need to use them with the verbs, except with verb to be, which is, am, and are. This is an example. I don't play. You don't play. He doesn't play. She doesn't play. It doesn't play. We don't play, and they don't play. Notice how we put D-O-N, the apostrophe, and T. It's short for do not. So we don't say do not, we say don't. We don't say does not, we say doesn't. Let's look at these sentences and try to choose the correct answer. After each sentence, I'll give you a second to think about what would be the correct answer. For example, John believes in ghosts. Now I want you to turn it into negative. What would it be? John don't believe, John doesn't believe, or not believe. The correct answer is John doesn't believe, because John, the pronoun for John is he. And with he, she, and it, we use does not or does. We are from Sydney. What would be the correct answer? We are not from Sydney, or we aren't from Sydney. We don't from Sydney, or not. The correct answer is we aren't from Sydney. We are not from Sydney. Next, they like eating seafood. That's the positive. If we want to change it to a negative, what would it sound like? What would we use? Doesn't, don't, or not hate. Remember, they. What do we use with they? They don't like eating seafood. Jane and Michael teach English. Jane and Michael, they are two people, so the pronoun would be they as well. Doesn't teach, didn't teach, or don't teach. The correct answer is Jane and Michael don't teach English, because two people, they. She has lunch at home. She. What do we use with she? Doesn't, has, or doesn't have, or didn't have. This is kind of a special rule. When you have she has and you change it into a negative, it becomes have. So she doesn't have lunch at home. You always have to remember that. She has, if you want to change it to a negative, she doesn't have. Mr. and Mrs. Jones play tennis on Wednesdays. Same thing, two people. What would be the answer? Doesn't, don't, or didn't. Mr. and Mrs. Jones don't play tennis on Wednesday, or Mr. and Mrs. Jones didn't play tennis on Wednesday. But because we're focusing on the present, I wanted you to use don't. Moving on to the next sentence. I usually eat lunch in the cafeteria. What would be the right answer if I want to change it into negative? I don't usually eat lunch in the cafeteria. Eat needs a helping verb to make it negative, so we use don't. John watches movies at the cinema. John is a he. So with he, what do we use? John doesn't watch movies at the cinema. Doesn't watch. Drop the S, add doesn't. Jackie is in our class. Negative. It's verb to be. It doesn't need help. We just add not. Jackie isn't in our class. James drives a Ford Explorer. James, he. James doesn't drive a Ford Explorer. Doesn't drive. So we drop the S, remember, and we add does not. Thank you for watching. That would be the end of the video. I do hope you enjoy it. Please like, subscribe, and write any comments or any kind of videos you would like to watch next time. Thank you.